We hear petitions for relief from the strict provisions of the city ordinance. In matters of this type, the decision of the board is final. It does not go to the mayor or the city council for any further action. If you disagree with our decision, you do have recourse in the court of record. We also hear petitions for variations of land use. In matters of this type, we act as an advisory committee to the mayor and city council, making a recommendation either for or against it. The final decision on land use is made by the mayor and the city council. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Alessio?
Here.
Mr. McCauley?
Here.
Ms. Powers? Here. Mr. Riggs?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. Hennessy?
Here. And I'd like to announce a new member for our board. His first meeting here, Mr. Vince Alessio. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Look forward to serving.
Do we have a request for variance from the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair, there is a request before you to slightly revise the agenda. The change would be that the first two items would be what are now the last two, I and J. It's petition 2019-12 and 2019-13 would be the first two in order. And then the third item would be item 7C, which is petition 2019-05. And then the remainder of the agenda would go from the beginning.
Okay, let me dig these out. 5.
So the first item, are you ready, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Proceed? Okay. So the first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the February 21st, 2019 zoning board meeting.
Motion would be in order.
Motion
Approve the minutes of
approved.
last meeting.
Did you move to approve? Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve and call the roll.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Are there any objections from the board on the changes in the agenda? Okay, let's proceed.
Okay, the next item prior to getting into the petitions would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. This is a section of the agenda for anyone wanting to speak regarding items that are listed on the agenda, except those items that are listed under public hearing. Is there anybody here to speak on items? Which case? Okay, I believe that's a public hearing case, so you could wait till we get to that project. Okay, so we're going to go right into the agenda, and again, this is a little bit out of order. We're going to start with item I, which is petition 2019-12. This is a special use permit to allow a truck carting express hauling facility that includes accessory truck repair and wash located at 3000 Shanahan Road. The applicant is the petition is 2019-12. The applicant/owner is Ketone Acquisitions LLC. Again, this is a special use for a truck carting, express, and hauling facility that includes an accessory truck repair and wash. As per applicable zoning code, section 47-14.2A, item D, special uses in all industrial districts, that type of a business for carting, express, and hauling may be allowed as a special use by the mayor and council with the advice of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, the 15.5-acre site is located on Lot 4 in the Ketone Business Center subdivision, Unit 2. I believe there's a map on the screen, which was approved in June of 2018. The existing zoning is I-2 General Industrial, and this case was filed March 15th of 2019. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character are as follows. The properties in each direction are all zoned I-2 Industrial. To the east is undeveloped, to the south is undeveloped, to the north is industrial, and to the west is industrial. Applicable regulations are as noted in the report. Under discussion, this is a request to develop a truck hauling facility for an unknown user in the Keystone Business Center. The developer would like to build a 43,200 square foot spec building that could include 2 tenant spaces, and there is a concept plan attached in your packet. Each 21,600 square foot tenant space will also include an additional 4,800 square feet of office space. Tenant A could accommodate 123 trailer spaces and 33 employee parking spaces, and tenant B could accommodate 134 trailer parking spaces and 35 employee parking spaces as proposed. Accessory uses such as truck maintenance and truck wash will also be allowed as part of the future operations. The proposed parking area will not be utilized by over-the-road drivers or other drivers not associated with the future logistic facility. There will be no drivers sleeping on site in their trucks or automobiles, and the site will not be used for loading or unloading cargo. Only tractors and trailers that are company-owned will be repaired, maintained, and washed at the proposed facility. No major repairs will be conducted in the parking lot. No cargo containers or chassis will be stored on site. Landscaping, screening, and parking lot paving will be required per the city zoning ordinance. Adequate storm water detention is currently provided for as part of an existing storm detention pond within the industrial park. Should the board choose to approve this special use permit, staff recommends the following conditions. 1, that a landscape plan be submitted as part of the building permit plan set, meeting city ordinance. 2, that any chain link fencing installed around the site be black color only. 3, that the future building meet the city's non-residential design standards for an industrial building. And 4, that should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes staff's report.
Petitioner present.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael
Bob,
Hanson.
come on, you know the routine.
Yes, sir.
Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
Sir, I do.
Name and address.
Michael Hanson, 111 North Ottawa Street, representing Keystone Acquisitions. Also here present with me, Kyle Schumacher, a manager, Jennifer Wagner, his assistant. We believe the staff report, we've worked with staff to develop a real good project for this area, so I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions from the board? Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anyone opposed? With no further discussion, the board closes the petition to the floor and asks for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve the petition. Call the roll.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You got another one here?
Yes, sir. It's the one right after it.
Mr. Chair, the next item on the agenda, again, taking the agenda a little bit out of order, would be, on the current agenda is listed as item J, petition 2019-13. This is a petition by the same applicant and owner as the last case, Keystone Acquisitions LLC. The location is 3100 Shanahan Road, and this is a request for both a special use permit and a variation. The applicant is requesting the special use permit to allow a truck travel fueling center within an I-2 general industrial zoning district and a variation on maximum allowed signage to allow 2 distinct multi-tenant ground signs. As per the applicable zoning code, section 47.14.3D, all industrial districts, the B3 uses may be allowed as special uses when authorized by 2/3 majority vote of the mayor and city council, with the advice of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals provides the final decision on sign variance requests. In other words, part of this case will move on to the city council, and part of it stops here. Under site-specific information, the 21.4-acre subject site is located on Lot 3 in the Keystone Business Center subdivision, Unit 2. Similar map to what was in the last petition. That was approved in June of 2018. The existing zoning is I-2, general industrial, and this case was filed March 15th of 2019. Surrounding zoning, land use and character, industrial I-2 to the north. To the east is undeveloped, zoned I-2. To the south is undeveloped, zone I-2. And to the west, industrial, zoned I-2. Applicable regulations are as noted in the staff report. This special use permit is in order to develop a truck and travel fueling center within the Ketone Business Center. The developer would like to build a 22,100 square foot speculative building that would include accessory uses such as fast food restaurants and a drive-through, and there is a concept plan attached to your packet. The B3 general business uses such as fueling centers require a special use permit in order to be permitted in the I-2 industrial zoning district. The exterior material for all four sides of the building would be masonry, and that would be brick and/or stone product, in order to comply with the city's commercial design standards. There is a gas canopy along the front that is proposed for general vehicular sales, and one in the back for truck fueling. The pylons on the gas canopies will be faced with a masonry material in entirety to match the building. 44 truck/trailer parking spaces are being proposed toward the back of the site for short-term parking only. 2 full curb cuts are proposed to accommodate the general automobile circulation in the front and truck circulation in the back, and to keep those separated. Sign variances are being requested to allow 2 ground signs at 80 feet high and 1,500 square feet, from 25 feet high and 150 square feet as required. And plans are attached in your packet. Both signs will be multi-tenant signs to accommodate users within the travel center and users within the industrial park. As a condition of approval, staff is requesting that the bottom of the pylons include masonry material to match the future materials on the future building. All public improvements will be required as per the subdivision regulations and the requirements of the Public Works and Utilities Departments. Landscaping, screening, and parking lot paving will be required as per the zoning ordinance. This will include a 30-foot wide berm and landscaping along Route 6 and future Humboldt Road, bridge right-of-way. Adequate stormwater detention is currently provided for as part of an existing storm detention pond within the industrial park. Should the board choose to approve the special use permit and sign variance requests, staff would recommend that the following conditions be included. 1, that a landscape plan be submitted as part of the building permit plan set that meets city ordinance. 2, that the future building meet the city's non-residential design standards for a commercial B3 building. 3, that pylons on the automobile and truck fueling canopies be faced with masonry material that matches the building. 4, that the bottom portions of the pylons on the ground sign canopies be faced with masonry material that matches the building. 5, that should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes staff's report. And you're able, I believe, to either vote on these as a package, or it might be cleaner to vote
Let's
on.
do them separately.
Do them separately.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause we're a final vote on one of them. Mr. Hanson?
Michael Hanson again, representing Ketone Acquisitions.
You've been sworn in, so we
Yes, I
don't have
have.
to do that, so. Is that your
Has any
report?
questions? Yes, sir.
Staff's doing too good a job here. You don't have to, oh, I'm telling you, you're messing up. Your billing hours aren't gonna be what they should be.
That's okay.
Okay, any questions by the board? No questions? So
I do,
anybody- Yeah,
these fast food restaurants and that you got here, is this gonna be open to the public or just the trucks?
No, it's going to be open to the public.
Isn't that like right where the beginning of the bridge is gonna
That
go,
is correct.
go over
Yes.
the river?
any other comments? Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Once again, we move on. Chair closes discussion and asks the board for a motion or further discussion.
Motion to
be in order.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Call the roll.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
And that was the vote for the special use
Yeah.
permit. Now do you want to take the vote for
Well,
the variations,
yeah.
the sign variations?
All right. Do you want to voice it, or do you just want the
Motion and
vote?
Second? Is it the same?
Okay, motion would be in order.
A separate motion would be in order for the second part of
Motion
this
approved.
petition, which
I
is the
second.
sign variations.
We have a motion and second to approve. Got
Mr.
it.
Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
Next item on the agenda, on the original agenda, would have been listed as 7C. That is petition 2019-05. This is a special use permit to allow a truck repair, maintenance, parking, and carting or trucking facility located at 2800 West Schweitzer Road. And this applicant is Connigan Partners LLC. Owner of the property is Hill Brothers Investments LLC, 2800 Schweitzer Road. Petitioner is requesting approval of a special use permit in order to allow a truck repair and maintenance, parking, and carting facility to locate to the existing vacant site. As per applicable zoning code section 47.14.2A, paragraph D, special uses in all industrial districts, carting, express, and hauling establishments may be allowed as special uses by the mayor and council with the advice of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, the 7.5-acre site is currently zoned I-1 Light Industrial District. The site is partially improved with a 16,000 square foot metal building formerly used for leisure hour, or used recently for leisure hours. And 2 outdoor racetracks for hobbyists. The site improvements also contain an existing well, storm detention pond, and an existing asphalt parking lot that can accommodate approximately 100 vehicles. This case was filed December 7, 2018. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is commercial land use, zoned IT, or I-1, light industrial. To the south is agricultural land use, zoned I-T, which is intermodal terminal zoning. To the east is used for agriculture, that is zoned I-T, intermodal terminal zoning. And to the west is undeveloped, which is in unincorporated Will County, zoned A1. Applicable regulations are as noted in the staff report. The petitioner, Connigan Partners LLC, is currently located at 2614 Brandon Road and is negotiating with Centerpoint Properties to sell the Connigan Partners LLC property to Centerpoint in order to expand the intermodal park. As part of the negotiations, Centerpoint is attempting to relocate the Connigan Partners LLC trucking operation to a new location within the immediate area. The existing leisure hours site at 2800 Schweitzer Road is for sale and fits their needs. If approved, the operation foresees a newly designed site, and that plan is attached in your packet. This will include 55 trailer parking spaces and 21 automobile/employee parking spaces. The building will be redesigned to include 4 drive-through garage bays and 21 pull-in and pull-out bays. Besides the repair part of the business, truck and trailer parking is being requested as an accessory use. This was described as private drivers needing a location to park their privately owned trucks and trailers periodically. This would not be allowed outside of the designated truck and trailer parking stalls. Existing storm detention will remain on site. A new landscape plan would need to be submitted and approved that meets the city's landscape and screening ordinance as part of a future building permit. The Connigan Partners operation currently includes 18 office personnel and a total of 60 employees. The hours of operation are typically 7 days a week from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. The relocation of this truck repair and maintenance, parking, and carting operation adequately meets the requirements for granting of a special use permit that has been established within the city zoning ordinance and should not have any negative effects on the surrounding industrial area. If the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit, the following conditions would be included. One, that a future landscape plan be submitted and approved as part of a future building permit that meets the city's landscape ordinance. Two, that a business license be applied for and approved prior to opening. Three, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained not later than 365 days of the date of the ordinance. And I won't read the rest, but that item 3 is a standard condition. Condition 4, that the property be declared a public nuisance. If it's declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes staff's report.
Good afternoon again. Michael Hanson, 111 North Ottawa, representing the applicant. Any questions, we will be happy to answer them.
Gentleman has asked for questions. Are there any? Another one? Very good. Anybody in the audience wish to speak in opposition? Anyone vote in favor? Once again, the chair closes the discussion to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a vote.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Call the roll.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, Mike Schwartz and I had thought you were going to take the very first old business item first. And if it, please.
That was the next one. That's I think the next one I'm going to call.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sorry, we did skip old business, no public hearing, so we'll continue with item 6 on the agenda. Under old business not requiring or not a public hearing, petition 2019-07 is a request for a grant of an extension until November 20th, 2019 for a special use permit number 2018-48, which was ordinance number 17873, that already granted or allowed a truck wash facility located at 2421 South Chicago Street. And I will summarize that request here. There's a request to extend the special use permit. A special use to allow that facility was approved by the City Council at their meeting on November 20th of 2018. And as a condition of approval, construction on the truck wash was to have begun within 180 days, which would be May 20th of 2019. A letter is attached by the petitioner's attorney explaining that a complication occurred with the petitioner's business partner that caused a delay in acquiring the property and starting construction. Due to this problem and the time delay it took to find another partner, the petitioner is asking for an extension of the previously approved special use permit until November 20th, 2019. Planning staff is in favor of this request. The Zoning Board of Appeals makes the final decision on the extension request, and the original staff report and attachments are included in your packet. If this request for an extension is approved by the Zoning Board, the following conditions would be included. One, that the access easements and public utility and drainage easements shall be vacated prior to submittal of a building permit. Two, that a landscaping plan shall be submitted and installed per the requirements of the city's landscape ordinance. Three, that the future building shall meet the requirements for architectural appearance as per requirements of the city's non-residential design standards. Four, that the owner and/or operator of the truck wash shall exercise due care in ensuring that vehicles exiting the truck wash are adequately dry so as to not cause wet or icy pavement conditions on Illinois Route 53. 5, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or CFO certificate of occupancy is obtained, not later than November 20th of 2019. And I won't read the rest of that standard condition. And number 6, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. That concludes staff's report.
Okay, what do you want done here now? So is that going to be heard today?
It's not a public hearing, so it's just a request to extend what was previously approved. They're
Okay,
asking for an extension.
so you want a motion to extend it?
Yes.
Does everybody understand what we're doing? Okay, is there a motion to extend
If
this?
there-
as
if there are
stated?
questions, I see that the
Pardon me?
operator of the business is here in case there were questions.
You're going to just request the extension?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a statement to make?
No statement.
Okay,
How long of an extension?
6 months?
till November
Till
17th.
November.
Okay.
November 17th, okay with you?
That's fine.
Okay, so why don't we just
I'll
call a
move
vote?
to extend the,
I second.
Extending it to November 17th.
November
Says,
The staff report says November 20th.
20th.
Okay,
November
the 20th then, yeah.
Yeah, I move to extend it.
Motion be in order.
I just made the motion.
Oh, second, is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve, call the roll.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
thank you.
So we're back to the regular order of the agenda. We have, next is, we're under Part 7 of the agenda, if anyone has a printed packet. We're under new business requiring a public hearing. The first item A is petition 2019-03. That is a special use permit to allow truck and trailer sales as an accessory use to the existing trucking facility located at 2050 South Chicago Street. The applicant or petitioner is Cadence Truck and Trailer Sales. This is a special use permit to allow truck and trailer sales as an existing accessory use to the existing trucking facility in an I-1 light industrial zoning district located at 2050 South Chicago Street. This type of request must be considered by the city council following the recommendation of the zoning board. Under site-specific information, the property in question is located at the northeast corner of Emerald Drive and Illinois Route 53. It's 12 acres in size. In 2015, the city approved the preliminary, final, and recording plat of Laraway Crossings Business Park, Unit 3, and a special use permit to allow sales of truck and trailer parts, and to allow a truck and trailer maintenance facility. Subsequently, Cadence Premier Logistics, a trucking and logistics corporation, built a multi-use development along the northeast and southeast corners of Illinois 53 and Emerald Drive. On the southeast corner of Illinois 53 and Emerald, there is a 121,500 square foot warehouse with office space for Cadence corporate headquarters and surface parking with 365 tractor-trailer stalls. On the northeast corner of Illinois 53 and Emerald Drive, which is the subject property, there is a 66,000 square foot truck maintenance and truck wash facility that includes a convenience store and diesel fueling station. These facilities were completed in November of 2018 and are referred to as the Pit Stop. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is unincorporated Will County, and that's a multifamily residential development. To the south is I-1 Light Industrial, and that's the Cadence Warehouse and Trucking. To the east is I-1 Light Industrial, which is the Amazon Warehouse and Trucking. And to the west is unincorporated Will County, used for medical, residential, and agricultural uses. Applicable regulations are as noted in the staff report. Under discussion, the original 2015 approvals for the facilities associated with the Pit Stop included a truck maintenance and truck wash facility, the sale of truck and trailer parts, a convenience store, and diesel fueling station. Did not include truck and trailer sales. So Cadence Premier Logistics would like to sell their used semi-trucks and trailers that the company has removed from their fleet of operations. The company typically replaces their semi-trucks when the trucks have approximately 1 year remaining on their 5-year warranties. The zoning ordinance requires a special use permit for truck and trailer sales in an I-1 light industrial zoning district. The sale of used trucks and trailers would be accessory to the maintenance of and truck wash facility. Cadence has indicated that the number of used trucks that they intend to sell will fluctuate, ranging from 10 to 50. Trailer sales would be minimal since these are not rotated out of the fleet operations as often. The sale of these trucks and trailers will occur in existing designated parking stalls in order not to impede the established circulation at the subject site. The site plan for the subject site was approved with the submittal of building permits for the pit stop. The property is within an existing light industrial area of the city, and the proposed land use is compatible with other allowable uses in the area. If the zoning board desires to approve this special use permit, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the sale of used trucks and trailers shall be accessory to the principal use at the subject property. 2, sales shall be restricted to designated parking stalls that were approved with the site plan for the construction of the pit stop, and the location of the sales shall not impede circulation at the subject site. 3, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained not later than 180 days of the effective date, or it says or if the use isn't commenced within that period. So I won't read the rest of that standard condition 3. Condition 4 would state that should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And 5, that a business license shall be obtained. That concludes staff's report.
Petitioner present. I'll swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes, sir, I do.
Name and address, please.
My name is Rocky Kaler, Cadence Premier Logistics and Pit Stop, 2250 South Chicago.
Go ahead.
We're just wanting to, our accountants want us to create a new company for revenue tracking of what we've always done. And that's in our industry. When we bring in new tractors, we sell the old. And that's really what we're doing, is just bringing that in as a company that already exists, just a new one so we can track that revenue. As my years at UPS, we did the same thing, Schneider, Warner, and we'll buy new tractors. We typically keep them 4 years, sell them year 5, 4 to 5, and bring in new. We're not a company that uses old tractors, technology. I think we've established ourselves as one of the leaders in the industry, so it's just a way to track that revenue in a better way.
Any questions by the board?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Are you gonna be bringing in tractors and trailers from all over the Midwest, I mean, to sell? I mean, when you
No,
have
this
these-
is, no, sir. This is our fleet. So currently, one example is, we just bought 25 new Freightliners with new emissions and all that technology. Our base of operations is here in Joliet. This is our corporate office. So anything that we're selling comes from our fleet. So we will de-identify the older tractors. So what we'll do is bring the new in, and the 25 that just hit 2 weeks ago, we'll identify those with the Cadence logos. At that point, we'll put them in service, take the other 25 out, well, 5 at a time is how we do that. De-identify that equipment, of course, clean them up, and then we sell them internally. We've never traded tractors in for new tractors. Dealerships aren't that cooperative with the amount of money that we'd like to see back from them. And historically, I grew up at UPS in management, and that's how we managed and how we did things with our equipment. So just kind of a carryover into our business model here.
5 years from now, it's not gonna look like a big lot of junky old trucks, is it? I mean, for sale, you know, I mean,
Well, you know,
that is the entrance to our city, you know, coming down Route
well, and we
53.
brought in a soccer futsal arena for underprivileged kids, and we established one of the first intern programs for Joliet Township high schools. We just put through sophomores. It cost us about 30 grand to put that on to train the sophomores in the high school system at no cost. The intern programs we put in place, I think as an entrance to our city, that we've added a bit of value to that. The only thing I can say is I'm a U.S. Marine, and I was at UPS and retired. Look at the UPS equipment today. That's how I was raised. So,
Well, it's looking better than what you're talking about here now. Okay.
well, we were back-to-back safest fleet in the state of Illinois per Great West Casualty. We're a SmartWay partner, which is the EPA. And I think everything we've done since we've come to Joliet We're proud to be the partner that we are, and what we've done and proven thus far. I doubt if I'm still alive 5 years from now, hopefully it looks better than what it does today. So I'm not here to embarrass us or embarrass you. And when I first came in here and talked to the group and to the residents, I think we've lived up to that. I hope that we have. If not, come on down, knock on the door, and grab me by the tie and yank me outside and ask me why we haven't, and we'll correct it.
Well, at my age, I'm not sure I can wait 5 years, but
I'm 62, so
if you're
I think I
willing
got
to
5
swear
minutes.
to it.
I just have a question. Where were you before you were here in Joliet?
We were in Alsip.
In
So,
Alsip.
yes, so we looked at Joliet, we actually looked at Indiana and Grundy County, but most of our employees, you know, my right-hand man and right-hand lady that work for us live in Joliet, Plainfield, and most of us are from this area. So it didn't make sense to move to Indiana and save $1 million, but lose all the people that helped build it. So because of what Joliet did for us, that's why we came here and made it our home. So this is our corporate office, and we're going to fight through whatever we have to fight through to keep the jobs and build more. So that's why we came here.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes petition to the floor. Ask the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Mr. Chair, next item on the agenda, obviously, we've covered item 7C, that 2019-05, that was already voted on. So we're now moving forward to item D on the printed application. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped right over that. Item 7B is actually a request for a special use permit to allow continuation of a truck repair facility located at 259 Republic Avenue, petition 2019-04. You may have received on your dais a request late today to, staff recommends tabling this petition to the May 2019 meeting in order to allow time for additional staff review, and the applicant is in favor of this request. So a motion to table to the May meeting would be in order.
Is there anybody in the audience that was here on that petition? Okay, a motion would be in order by the
I'll move to
board.
table.
Second.
We have motion and second to table this petition 2019-04. Poll the board.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Hennessy.
Hennessy.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda, item 7D, a petition 2019-06, is a special exception for a temporary use to allow a two-day car sales event at a Bree Credit Union located at 2350 McDonough Street. That petition actually has been withdrawn. Staff received an email asking that this be withdrawn. Basically, their promotional event, they're going to look to possibly come back in the future with a different promotional event. So that is withdrawn. You don't have to vote on it.
It's been withdrawn already?
It's been withdrawn.
I just got one question. On the original, application there, they wanted to have their event on April 12th and 13th, which is passed. I was just wondering, did they end up doing it?
Not to my knowledge, I don't believe they did.
I don't, did anybody see them trying to sell these cars or whatever that day because they weren't supposed to, evidently?
No, I didn't witness it, and I haven't seen it, but no, I don't believe they had. They obviously, the last meeting we had a lack of a quorum, I believe, at the last meeting, so no, they weren't able to get a vote, and they've decided to look in the future at another event. So this is withdrawn. Item 7E Next petition, petition 2019-08, is a variation to reduce the minimum required corner side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet to allow the installation of an in-ground pool, and a variation to reduce the minimum corner side yard setback from 10 feet to 5 feet for a concrete pool deck located at 1502 Fitzer Drive. And I'll just summarize the staff report. The applicant is Jose Lozada and also the owner of the property. And this request is to reduce the required corner side yard in order to allow the installation of an in-ground pool and reduce the corner side yard setback for a concrete pool deck. The zoning board makes the final decision for this type of variation request. Under site-specific information, the lot is 87 feet by 120 feet, total of 10,440 square feet, located at the southeast corner of Fitzer Drive and Cambria Drive, and contains a two-story single-family residence. The existing zoning is R2, single-family residential, and this petition was filed March 12th of 2019. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is surrounded in all directions by single-family residential zoned R2 in Theodore's Crossing subdivision. Applicable regulations are as noted in the staff report. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required corner side yard setback in order to install an in-ground pool surrounded by a concrete deck. Per the zoning ordinance regulations, in a required corner side yard, a pool must be located at least 20 feet minimum from the property line, and a patio must be located 10 feet minimum from the property line. The proposed 15-foot by 39-foot pool will be located 10 feet from the side property line, and the concrete pool deck will be 5 feet from the side property line. There is a plan attached in your packet and shown on the screen. The petitioner has stated that they desire to place the pool in the proposed location because the southern half of their backyard is mostly in shade. According to the petitioner, locating the pool nearer to the side property line on the north will allow the pool to receive some sun, which will reduce the costs and energy required to heat the pool. There is also an existing underground electrical line located across the southern portion of the backyard, which limits where the pool can be located. The property has an existing 6-foot wood privacy fence at the property line along Cambria Drive, which will screen the view of the pool from the street. The petitioner has obtained approval for the proposed project from the Theodore's Crossing Homeowners Association. And that concludes staff's report.
Petitioner present. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
I have your name and address.
Jose Lozada, 1502 Fitzer Drive.
Any comments you'd like to make, sir?
The only things that we want to put a pool for kids to enjoy, and due to the comment line in the backyard in the south end, we cannot move the pool to put it accordingly to what the rules require for the building easements and everything else, and that's why we are requesting to see if we can move it more to the north side of the property, which encroaches into the building line, and visibility from the streets and obstruction of visibility of the street. We already have a fence, 6-foot fence and everything, so, it's within the inside, or, nobody will be able to see anything in there, or.
Okay. Any questions by the board?
Yeah. You don't like to cut grass, do you? Because that pool is gonna take up most of your backyard.
I've been doing it for 33 years, believe me. I don't mind doing it.
Why didn't you make the pool 15 by 34 feet? The kids wouldn't notice that 5 feet. They're gonna be happy to get a pool. And then you wouldn't have had to come before us and do all this rigmarole.
I believe we could do that too. We can minimize that side, I guess, but I was hoping to.
Because, 5 feet, my kids back in the day would have been standing on the fence trying to dive into the pool.
That's true.
At 5 feet, so, why don't you just make it 15 by 34?
Somebody back there who's speaking?
Yes.
You could,
Sorry, I'm his wife. It's a fiberglass pool.
well, yeah, you have to,
Never
no,
purchased.
I have to swear you in.
Oh, sorry,
You swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law.
I do.
Name and address.
Nicole Lozada, 1502.
Into the mic.
Nicole Lozada, 1502 Fitzer Drive, Joliet, Illinois.
Go ahead.
This is a fiberglass pool, so it's already a preformed or pre-made shell. And this particular model is only available in the size. You can't shorten it.
Well, I still say, you know, I mean, kids are not gonna notice how big a pool is, and that is a big pool.
It is a big pool. The pool itself, the diagram doesn't actually show it, but it also has a tanning ledge and a built-in hot tub, spa unit.
Oh, wow.
And again, it's only available in that size.
So what side of the pool is this, is the hot tub?
Hot tub unit. And actually, it's more of a spa, not a hot tub. It would be on the south side.
Okay, towards the ComEd line?
Yes,
Correct.
that's comment.
Yes.
Okay.
Knowing that we still have to maintain 5 feet away from the water's edge.
Any other questions or comments?
I do have one. The neighbor, I know you got the approval from your neighborhood association.
Correct.
Your neighbors around you are all aware of this, what you're doing?
Yes,
Okay.
because they all want to
They all plan on visiting. Hey, you got some, gonna make some good friends.
He will be
That's
living
right.
in our house.
Any further comments?
I was looking at it, is there an existing pool on the property right now?
Yes, as a matter of fact, before we got into the pool business about 8 years ago, we had an above-ground pool put in when we first purchased the home by an above-ground pool company. So we didn't find out until we started making plans to look at doing the variance and basically swapping out from one pool to another, that when we Julied the property, that's when we found that the ComEd line was there. So the previous installer, unbeknownst to us, never Julied the property. They just came and put it on the ground and
Wow.
that was it.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
pretty-
pool is not in service, but it's still structurally there. That's going to be removed once we start. We'll be demoing that in order to put this in.
And my own other question, did you talk to ComEd about possibly rerouting the
Oh, yeah, they
power
want
line?
like $6,000 because they
no, they're
didn't
not gonna
bother
do
to
that.
put it in correctly the first time in the easements.
Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. Unfortunately, the pedestal is all the way in that southeast corner, and the ComEd box is all the way on the northwest corner of the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
figure.
Any other comments? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes petition to the floor. Ask the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, second, to approve the petition. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
No,
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next petition on the agenda, item 7F on your original agenda, petition 2019-09, is a special use permit for an automotive repair shop located at 509 East Washington Street. The applicant is Micheline Thomas, and the property owner is Maria Chavez. The purpose of this request is the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow an automotive repair shop within an existing automotive repair shop facility located at 509 Washington Street, which is zoned I-1 Light Industrial. This type of request must be considered by the City Council following the recommendation of the Zoning Board. Under site-specific information, 2 lots comprise the 1.14 acre property that is the subject of this petition request. Lot 1 has 2 one-story brick buildings that have a history of automotive use and a large paved parking lot. Lot 2 consists of an asphalt parking lot. Both lots are zoned I-1 Light Industrial District. In 2009, the city approved a used car sales lot for 20 cars at this location. The ordinance approving this use also allowed for the continuation of private towing operations and private automotive repair for cars that the business would then sell. The 2009 approval and associated conditions are provided in the attached ordinance. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is I-1 light industrial zoning, and that's the Rock Island Railroad line. To the south is R2 single-family residential, R2A single-family residential, and R3 one and two family residential. And that is currently single-family and two-family residential uses as well as vacant lots. To the east is I-1 light industrial, that's a warehouse and industrial use. And to the west is I-1 light industrial zoning, and that's vacant land. Applicable regulations are as noted in the staff report. Under discussion, the petitioner MHM Auto Sales and Auto Repair requests a special use permit for an automotive repair shop at an existing automotive repair shop facility located at 509 Washington Street. The city's 2009 approval for a used car sales lot at this location restricted automotive repair work to only those vehicles that the former business intended to sell. Therefore, the automotive repair shop was considered a private garage. The petitioner, which is a new business owner, seeks this special use permit in order to operate a public garage, meaning it would be open to the public. The petitioner already operates a used car sales lot at this location. The business will adhere to the previously approved hours of operation, which were 8 a.m. to, sorry, I'll have to ask my planner here. It says 8 a.m. I assume that's 4 p.m. 6? Okay, there's a, sorry, that's missing from your report, but 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturdays, and closed Sundays. The long-term outdoor storage of inoperable vehicles will be limited to 10 days. The 1.4-acre property has sufficient space for the sale of up to 20 vehicles, employee and customer parking, and outdoor storage of inoperable vehicles. If the zoning board desires to recommend approval of this special use permit for an automotive repair shop at 509, at an existing automotive repair shop facility at 509 Washington Street, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the hours of operation shall be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturdays, and closed on Sundays. 2, that long-term outdoor storage of inoperable vehicles shall be limited to 10 days. 3, that off-street parking shall remain in the future. 4, that all existing light poles shall be cleaned and repainted within 60 days of ordinance approval. 5, that the dumpster shall be screened by a 6-foot-high wooden solid fence with a locking gate, I should say a solid fence with a locking gate within 60 days of ordinance approval. 6, that no testing of customer vehicles shall be conducted within the adjacent neighborhood streets. 7, that the special use permit granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained not later than 100 days of the effective date of this ordinance, and the erection or alteration of a building estate is started, or the use is commenced within such period. And I won't read the rest of that standard condition. Condition 8, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And 9, that a business license shall be obtained. That concludes staff's report.
Commissioners present? Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
I have your name and address.
Michaeline Thomas, 509 East
Speak up,
Washington.
please.
509 East Washington.
Any comments you'd like to make?
No.
Any questions by the board?
Yeah, you know, I have a question. I've been living in the east side for all my life. Washington Street is full of cars. So, I mean, why would you pick Washington Street for that, you know, for the car business?
I didn't see anything on that side.
Well, I go through there every day. The east side is messed up. We need a lot of nice things there. That's all I'm
It was
saying.
already existed though,
Yeah.
so that's
This
why
is
we.
already there. I mean, that's the old PK Lord
Yeah.
meat place, and then the other
Yeah.
building is a Hawk gas station.
Yeah,
Used to
but
be a Hawk gas station.
I'm just going by what I see.
A gas station? Did you say?
There
I'm
used to be
sorry.
a gas station there, and then that was a meat packing place, and then Columbia Pipe used to be over there too, right along Washington.
Right.
I do have a question. This is really more for staff. Who monitors the outdoor storage? Who goes by and checks to make sure that nothing is there for more than 10 days, that these inoperable
Well,
vehicles?
that's the difficulty we do. It's that we have a zoning code enforcement staff person that would monitor that. And we also rely on our other inspectors that are out in the field to see something. And obviously, anybody who, whether it be an appointed official, an elected official, or residents in the area, help us police that so that we can get out there and keep on top of those things. But we have our eyes on the street, if you will.
Thank you.
Any other comments by the board?
On that building 1, is that our paint booth inside there?
We're only doing the one building,
So the other building's not yours, so it says building 1 on that picture?
so like storage.
That's just storage in there? Because I noticed you said a body shop on it.
Right, but did you see the spelling? It said S-H-O-O-P. It's not ours.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll see right
Auto body shop.
Shoop. It says shoop. It's an auto body shoop.
Yeah, it does.
That's not yours, or that
No,
is?
just the other one.
Any other questions?
You have both lots, though?
That lot,
just
and
the
then the
one lot?
building, and the other lot.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
That one goes with the other lot. We
The
have,
shoop goes with the other lot?
yeah, the one like in front of there. There's like 3 paved lots. That lot, and then the one in back of the garage part.
So they just had the...
Can we go to the aerial
Yeah.
view there? Yeah, okay. All right, your building is building number 2.
There's a lot in front, in between one building and then the other side. I can't tell if there's building 2. From here, it looks like, yes, on that side. The number 2. Not the one that said shoop.
Well, that would be building number 1.
Right, no, we're the other one. Building 2.
So you're building 2
Right,
and the lot east of building 2.
yes,
Going towards Herkimer, or Anderson, rather.
yes.
Both of
Going
those
towards
are their
Anderson.
lots.
Both of them are their lots?
What did you say, Jim?
I think both of them are your lots, right? The one in the
Right.
middle and the one at the end. Where all the vehicles are their lots. They have 2
You
lots.
just don't have the building, building
One.
We have-
1. You
You
have the
get
2
building
lots,
2.
and, I mean, you have the 2 parking lots in building 2. That's what you have.
Right,
And you're currently existing as auto sales and under the previous owner's permit, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So they have a garage.
the previous approval from 2009 was only for that, for private repair work for that business, not open to the public. The petition now is to have a public garage, and actually, anybody could bring their vehicle there to be worked on.
But you're still selling as well.
right.
How many employees will you have?
Me, my husband, and maybe my son part-time. 'Cause
Doing
he
the
goes to
repairs.
college, probably in the summer.
Doing the repairs? You,
He's learning, but my husband's a mechanic.
okay, thank you.
Everybody clear on this now? Any further questions? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes petition to the floor. Ask the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve.
I second, yeah.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Thompson?
No,
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
No.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
We have 4 ayes and 2 noes, so that will pass on to the city council with a recommendation of approval, and you should be in touch with staff to confirm the date and time of the council meeting. And just for the record, what we do when there's dissenting votes, staff will summarize the comments that we heard and the concerns, because the council may ask what the reasons for the no votes were.
Isn't that done all the time, though?
We do.
Yeah.
I'm just stating it for the record, stating the obvious.
Because I've heard Jan Quillman quote us on more than one occasion.
The next petition is item 7G on the original agenda. This also is a public hearing. This is petition 2019-10, a special use permit to allow a daycare located at 455 Ruby Street. And I'll summarize the report. The applicant is Shanice Kelly. The owner of the property is Mary Lynn Bruno. Purpose of this request is for a special use permit to allow a daycare center within an existing commercial unit at 455 Ruby Street, which is Zone B3 General Business, and the Zoning Board of Appeals is the final decision-making body for this type of special use. I know that's unique, but daycare special uses end with the Zoning Board. Site-specific information: the 4,950 square foot lot is zoned B3 General Business District. The property is improved with a brick and concrete block commercial building that has a 1,940 square foot of space on the main level. The building has 2 units, and both units are currently vacant. The building was recently licensed through the Illinois Department of Child and Family Services for an early childhood program, and that previous license is attached as Exhibits A and B. There is an existing rear parking lot for 4 vehicles, and access to the parking lot is from Ruby Street. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character: to the north is B3 General Business, and that's used for the Will County Archives. To the south is R2 Single Family Residential and B1 Neighborhood Business, and that's used for a vacant lot and a small retail use. To the east is B3 General Business used for commercial, and to the west is B3 General Business used for commercial. Applicable regulations are as noted in your report. Under discussion, the City of Joliet zoning ordinance provides that daycare centers are special uses in the B3 General Business District. The petitioner is the contract purchaser of the property and requests approval of a special use permit to allow a daycare center at 455 Ruby Street. The petitioner intends to use both units within the vacant commercial building for a daycare center with a maximum of 40 children. The petitioner does not intend to use the basement level for classroom purposes. The proposed floor plan can be found as Exhibit J. The daycare center would accept children from the age of 6 weeks through pre-K and will also offer before and after school care for children up to the age of 13. The petitioner has indicated that the business will employ approximately 6 people. The hours of operation would be Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The state of Illinois requires daycare centers to be licensed through the Illinois Department of Child and Family Services, and the petitioner expects to meet these licensing requirements. The petitioner has provided additional information for how she intends to operate a daycare center at this location, and this can be found in the staff packet for the petition. The petitioner plans for staff to occupy the 4 private parking spaces located behind the building, as well as the 2 public parking spaces on the south side of the street, across from the daycare center. Families would park alongside the front of the building, utilizing the public parking spaces for drop-off and pickup. The city's traffic engineer reviewed the proposed parking plan, and the city will designate these 2 spaces located directly in front of 455 Ruby Street as a 15-minute loading zone from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The petitioner, in her application packet, does not foresee a conflict with the adjacent businesses, since the typical time for drop-offs occur before these businesses open. According to the petitioner, child pickup is typically more spread out throughout the afternoon and early evening. The children would be escorted in and picked up within the building by their parent or guardian. A parking plan, Exhibit K, is included with the petition, as well as an example of a licensed urban daycare along Harlem Avenue in Chicago. City of Joliet ordinance states that daycare centers are required to have not less than 75 square feet of outdoor play area per child for the total number of children using the area at any one time, and that the outdoor play area must also be enclosed by a fence or wall of at least 3 feet in height. The Illinois Department of Child and Family Services further requires that the outdoor play area shall accommodate 25% of the licensed capacity at any one time. This requirement means that the petitioner would need an outdoor play area, play space of at least 750 square feet. The petitioner plans to construct a 750 square foot fenced-in outdoor play area on the north side of the building and extending into the parking lot. The outdoor play area is indicated on Exhibit K. If the zoning board desires to recommend approval of this special use permit for a daycare center in the B3 General Business District at 455 Ruby Street, the following conditions would be included. 1, the current rear parking area shall be striped to designate 4 parking spaces prior to the business opening. 2, an outdoor play area along the north side of the building with at least 750 square feet shall be created prior to the business opening. 3, that the outdoor play area shall be enclosed by a minimum 3-foot-high fence prior to the business opening. 4, that the dumpster shall be screened by a 6-foot-high solid fence with a locking gate prior to the business opening. 5, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained not later than 180 days of the effective date of this ordinance and the erection or alteration of a building is started or the use is commenced within such period. I won't read the rest of standard condition number 5. Condition 6 would state that should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And 7, that the business shall be registered with the city clerk's office. That concludes staff's report.
Petitioner present. Lower those mics, huh? Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Shanice Kelly, 2714 Stonebridge Drive, Plainfield, Illinois.
Any comments you'd like to make?
I just want to say that I am currently have a contract on this building, so this is why we're coming before to make sure that, because our contract is contingent upon this special use permit, so.
How long have you been in this business?
I've been in this business since 2006.
2006?
Yes, I started as an assistant, and I've worked every position.
Where have you been located before?
Chicago, Harlem Avenue, which was one of my examples. That was where I started at. I've also was a daycare director at God Loves Little Children Daycare in Addison, Illinois.
How did you happen to come to Joliet?
I'm actually from Joliet. I was born in the original hospital, but I have family in Joliet, and this is a surrounding area of mine because I'm currently in Plainfield, so I looked in the vicinity of my current home.
I'm pretty sure that you are qualified and meet all the state standards that are required. How do you choose your employees?
Well, I actually have one employee that I currently have now, but I would actually post.
What kind of training or background checks do you run on them?
Oh, well, required from DCFS, you have to have a background check on each employee, and they also have to have.
Is there a standard test?
Yes,
or
I have the standards
certain
with me.
conditions they have to meet?
What was that?
Are there certain standards that they have to meet for training and background?
Yes, they have to have 60 credit hours of general courses and 12 related to early childhood.
Now, the reason I'm asking is, almost every day on TV and on the news, just this afternoon I was watching news and there was 3 separate occasions of abuses in these daycare centers. One was against an autistic child that was being ridiculed and pushed around, and he couldn't even defend himself. Kids getting dragged around by their legs and arms and being slapped in the face. And obviously these people have all gone through training and are supposedly have passed all these exams. how can you be certain, the people that you've got working for you?
Well, DCFS is who does the background checks, so normally we'll just look and make sure they don't have any prior abuse or neglect on their
I have no
background.
objection, against the school. I think it's just that I'm getting, deeply concerned about the frequency of these abuses, these children. There doesn't seem to be anybody over, watching over this. Okay, that's my only comment.
I have a question. Will you actually be having a class of children yourself, or are you just
I
supervising?
am actually going to work as a director and a teacher.
And a teacher?
Yes, if you have under 50 children, the director can be a teacher as
Can
well.
be a teacher. Okay, and then you realize that you can only have 10 children outside at a time in that play area if you only have
25%.
750. What do you plan to surface it with?
Actually, we're going to use the playmat area, this foam playmat, so it can be removed if necessary.
No, I know, I used to work for DCFS as a child abuse investigator for 7 years in Chicago. So DCFS, tell me if I'm wrong or right, but every year with the new hires, they send them to some type of training. Am I correct on that? They start doing that again?
They actually have to get training on their own, at least 30 hours per year.
Right. Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the traffic on Ruby Street and Nicholson and Vine in that area?
Yes, I am. I've
'Cause
been to
it
this
is-
building multiple times.
It is crowded almost every day, and the traffic is nothing. I mean, I've seen them do 50 miles an hour down that road. What safety precautions have you got for the kids that might take off running across the street right there?
Well, that is why we wanted to put the two parking for loading directly in front of the building for drop off and pick up.
It doesn't stop a kid from running across the street right there when people fly down that road, and those corners that are right there, the buildings are almost directly on the road. In fact, we've had trouble at the corner right there of Vine with just parking alone where people can't see going around the corner.
But you're going to have parents bring the kids in, right? Isn't that your plan?
Yes, they have to bring them
They're
in.
not just going to get out of the car and walk into the
Oh,
building.
no.
Parents actually bring them in.
They have to bring them in and sign them
That may
in.
help.
And I know you've been doing it for a while, so I have no doubt the kids won't be running across the street. You'll be on them. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
So they're going to have signs, this is for 15-minute loading zones, the two directly in front of the building. Are you going to be doing pickup or drop off on, like, where the driveway is to the rear of the parking lot? Will people be going there?
No, just directly in front of the building
On Ruby Street.
on Ruby Street,
On Ruby
yes.
Street. So they pull up, they have that 15-minute parking sign, they get out, they drop off their children, and then they get back in their car and they go.
Yes, and primary drop off is usually between 6 and 9 a.m.
Anything else? Okay, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Want to come forward? Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth and the penalty of law?
I do. Rudy Mahalik, 467 Ruby Street. I'm one of the owners of Painter, Dillman, and Mahalik, PDM, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our building is directly to the west. We actually share a driveway with 455. They have about 1/3 of the land, we have 2/3 of the land of the driveway. There are trucks that pull in and out of there daily, starting at 7 a.m. I think it's dangerous. I'm worried about the kids being there. There's not in my opinion, there's not an adequate playground area. If you look at the back of the building, the big old WAJP antenna is back there. And there's a big steep fall off right there.
And a radio station.
I'm mostly concerned about safety of the vendors that bring big heavy trucks in, garbage trucks come down there, plus our service trucks.
Will the kids be inside during those times?
Yeah.
Yes.
The kids will not be in the driveway portion at all. There's an exit in the back, which will lead directly to the play area, which will also be fenced in. So that is the,
And what does it do with that cell phone tower.
It's actually on the next lot.
That's on your, that's not on your lot, that's on the next
And the
lot.
lot between,
What type of, oh, go ahead.
No, so the kids would be shielded from the old WJAP tower.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be fenced in.
Okay.
Do you expect to put signage to make sure the parents know not to drop off in the area between you and the gentleman standing next to you's lot? Because that could, whether or not the children are allowed outside or outside the playground area, that's the only other thing I could see as being an issue is during drop-off or pickup times.
Are you referring to the back lot?
The side lot between you and,
Oh, we can post signs that
Yeah.
there's no stopping or.
that's a shared
But there's no
driveway.
entrance there anyway.
There's no
right?
entrance,
that's
the
a
entrance is
shared
only in the
driveway.
front.
This is the shared driveway.
There was a daycare center there previously. I don't know if it was licensed or
I
not.
want to park on Ruby Street.
You'd have a traffic jam there.
They did, the parents did pull in to the driveway and park their car there and get out and take the kids in.
Can
It has
you,
happened.
can you block that off so nobody can park back there? I mean, Mr. Alessio just brought up a good point. He just said that people may not want to park on Ruby Street to drop off their kids because it is so busy. And
there's two cars there already.
So he's concerned, well, you can say what you're concerned about, I don't have to.
You gotta look at it this way. This is a shared driveway. He's gonna have service trucks coming in and out of here. If you gotta come in here, then turn around and go back out, you're creating more havoc than just dropping them off right there. But
I mean, I would think it'd be easy for parents to just pull up in front.
Yeah, it would.
Park
Right.
and just take their children in as long as there's designated parking spots.
and you're gonna have people coming out to assist the people when they drop these kids off.
No, just the parents.
Long as you give the parents a form, explain to them what's going on, the parents usually would do what they're supposed to do. And like Ms. Powers stated, they would just drop them off. That's what happened.
And walk them into the building.
Right.
Another thing, I do have in the handbook, the drop-off procedures for the parents.
Oh, you have a handbook. Okay,
I did,
good,
yes.
good.
Any other comments?
I think
Mr.
there's
Young,
another negative.
Anything to add?
Sorry?
Do you have anything to add?
No.
All right, thank you. Chair is going to close petition to the floor, ask the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
No.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
No.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
That petition passes on a 4-2, so the recommendation, actually, that ends here. That does not go on to the council. This is one of our unique types of special uses where the zoning board is the final decision maker. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Item 7H on the agenda, which is, I believe, our last item under public hearings. Petition 2019-11 is a special use permit request to allow the installation of an electric security fence as an accessory use for the existing business located at 3201 Centerpoint Way, Unit A. The applicant in this case is Electric Guard Dog LLC, represented by Cindy Williams. The owner of the property is Centerpoint Joliet Terminal Railroad Company, LLC. And the request for a special use permit is to allow the installation of an electric security fence as an accessory use for the existing business, which is XPO Logistics. As per the applicable zoning code, section 47.14.2A, item K, special uses in all industrial districts. Electric fences may be allowed as special uses by the mayor and city council with the advice of the zoning board of appeals. Under site-specific information, portions of the subject site were annexed and zoned I-TB, Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment Zone, in 2008 and 2010. In October 2016, the subject site was subdivided as Lot 13 in Center Point Center at Joliet Subdivision, Phase 15, Block 4. In 2013, a one-story commercial building and logistics yard was constructed on the site. The petition was filed February 29th of 2019. For surrounding zoning, land use and character, to the north is zoned industrial, I-TB zoning. To the east is industrial, ITB zoning. To the south is industrial and recreational, I-1 zoning. And to the west is undeveloped, which is unincorporated Will County. Applicable regulations are as noted in the report. Under discussion, the applicant is requesting this special use to allow the installation of a 10-foot-high electric security fence as an accessory use for the existing cargo container yard and the logistics facility. XPO Logistics is the largest marine container hauler in the United States, featuring over 2,400 drivers nationwide. They currently occupy the existing 4-acre subject site. In an effort to better secure their property, the owner would like to install an electric security fence around the property. A site plan is attached that illustrates the location of the existing 6-foot-high fence and the proposed location of the electric fence. The city recently enacted an ordinance to allow electric fences as part of an approved special use permit when meeting the following criteria. 1, they have to comply with IEC standards for electric fences. 2, the electrification has limits based on a commercial storage battery not to exceed 12 volts direct current. And the storage battery is charged primarily by a solar panel and augmented by a commercial trickle charger. Item 2B, the electric charge produced shall not exceed standards set forth by the International Electrical Code. 3, a perimeter wall or fence is required, and it has to be not less than 6 feet in height. 4, the location is only on non-residential areas, and an electric fence must be or shall be located within or a minimum of 12 inches away from a separate non-electric fence that fully encloses the perimeter, except for the gates. Those can be 3 inches apart, as long as they are covered in a durable mesh material that prohibits human contact with the gates. And the height, electric fences shall have a maximum of 10 feet height. Warning signs shall be clearly identified in both Spanish and English at intervals of not less than 60 feet, or as required by the Building and Inspectional Services Division. 7, registration is required. Electric fences are governed and regulated under the city's burglar alarm regulations and is permitted as such, as registered with the Joliet Police Department. 8, emergency access is required. Electric fences shall be designed so that the system is de-energized upon activation of emergency access. 9, landscape maintenance is required between the electric fence and the outer perimeter fence to inhibit weed growth. And 10, permits are required. A fence permit and an electrical permit are required. The attached site plan and notes illustrate that the criteria of our ordinance will be met. The approval of the special use permit, subject to the above criteria, should not alter the essential industrial character of the area. Should the board choose to approve this special use permit, staff would recommend the following conditions. 1, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. 2, that the special use permit granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building, or in this case a fence permit, is obtained not later than 180 days of the effective date of the ordinance, and the use is commenced within that period. I won't read the rest. And that concludes staff's report.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to see you back.
We didn't
Ladies
table
and
it this
gentlemen.
time, so.
I'm sorry,
You
what?
swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law.
I do, yes.
Name and address.
Cindy Williams, with Electric Guard Dog, 550 Assembly Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for having me back again in front of you today. I do apologize. Maggie Murphy, who is the terminal manager at XBO, had all intentions of being here this afternoon, and I texted her right as the meeting started, and she said she had a driver issue come up, and she was on a conference call and could not leave. But she did text me when I asked her what her specific issues were as to why they were requesting the fence. and I can show you that it's from her phone number on this text. But it says, we've had people cutting the fence trying to get in. So they are experiencing people trying to get in, and they're trying to be proactive in preventing, once they do, somebody being successful in coming in and causing a problem at their facility. I think you've heard my spiel before. I'm not going to bore you with it, but if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer any.
Did you get this reference directly from your presentation before?
Oh, no, I think, I'm not sure where we got that contract from. I don't really have anything to do with sales, so I'm not sure where it came
Yeah,
from.
I'm anticipating we'll be seeing more of these. The board's familiar with that. We just had this, at the last meeting. Are
You
there
were
any-
here for
any questions?
Republic Avenue, weren't you?
I'm sorry?
Republic Avenue.
Yeah, that was that.
The one we did before was the J&D, and that one has gotten stopped. It has not gone to city council yet. There's been some issues that are holding that up with the city council.
Is that the one on Republic Avenue?
Is that the one that we're talking about? Yeah.
Are there any questions by the board? We're all familiar with what this is. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes petition to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Call the roll.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
That motion passes, so the recommendation to the council would be for. And if you could, for the council packet, if you have that letter of justification from XPO, we would include their comments in the packet. Okay. So that was the last of the public hearing cases for today. On the agenda, item 8, new business not requiring a public hearing. There are no items. And the last item of the agenda, public comments. This is just for anyone wanting to speak to the zoning board with non-agenda items. Is there anyone wanting to speak on items that are not on the agenda? Seeing none, hearing none. The last order of business is for adjournment, and you may do that, I believe, with a voice vote. Do you want to call roll? You may do that with a voice vote if you like.
Oh, we're back to my old-fashioned way of doing it. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There we go.